8:53 exactly, and we are now commemorating the 102nd birthday of Professor Mphahlele, and he was an amazing figure. Uh, let's hook up with Dr. Tshepo Moloi, a postdoctoral research fellow at the Johannesburg Institute of Advanced Study at UJ. We're going to be looking at the legacy that a professor has left to the people of South Africa, and I think it's an amazing legacy, lest we forget our heroes of the past. Dr. Moloi, good morning. Welcome to the program. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Assalamu alaikum to you and the viewers.
Wa alaikum assalam, wa alaikum assalam. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to hand over to you totally uninterrupted, because when we look at the bio of this great hero, and he was a hero and will remain a hero in our lives, what is the legacy that he's left behind? Tell us about this amazing man.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity once more. I must say that Salam Media is doing incredible work, taking interest in the archive.
Alhamdulillah.
On that note, this morning we wake up to celebrate and wish a posthumous happy birthday to Professor Eskia Mphahlele. Now, just so that we put it out there, I completed my PhD dissertation on Professor Eskia Mphahlele's contribution to,
wow, congratulations,
to international relations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was groundbreaking in the sense that he has never been considered in the discourse of political science. I will talk about his CV in a moment, but he's just been limited to African literature and creative writing because he was an author. So I argued to say, no. If you actually look at his body of work, he has traveled extensively and has actually been even published in some international journals on international relations. But
and
anyway,
just to add to that, you are so right, because he helped to found the first independent Black publishing house in South Africa. He also co-edited the anthology of modern African stories.
Okay, all right. I think you and I must not confuse the listeners. Let me try and be slow so that we don't jump the gun.
Okay, we don't have much time, 5 minutes tops, so if we can just get through as much as we possibly can.
Perfect, but let me just cover what you've just said. When you say the first publication, I'm of the view you're talking about Scotterville Publishing.
First independent publishing house.
Pardon? Were you talking about Scotterville?
Now, I'm talking about the publishing house that he founded.
What was the name of that? Just what was the name of that publishing house?
Okay, I don't have the name of it, but I do know he was that he actually co-founded the first publishing house.
Okay, all right. So because we don't have time, let me just say my executive piece. So Professor Eskia Mphahlele was born on the 17th of December in 1919 in Marabastad, Pretoria. He was married to Rebecca Mochedibane, and he had 5 kids with her. They were married in 1945, and Tony was the firstborn, and then Mutswiri, and then Teresa, and then Dichaba, and then Puso. Sadly, all these kids have passed on. The only one that is surviving is the last born, which is Puso. He's in Leboa, where they originally come from. And then Eskia Mphahlele is a giant of African literature. He is most popularly known for his book Down Second Avenue, which came out in 1959. And it must be said that not enough is said about his master's dissertation, which came out before Down Second Avenue in 1967 at the University of South Africa. And it came out with a distinction. We're not sure if it was the first distinction to be given to a student at UNISA for English studies, but he was certainly the first Black student to get such an honor. And the title for that thesis was The Non-European Character in South African English Fiction. And then, he majored in English psychology and African administration. All his qualifications were with UNISA, so he corresponded with the only exception having been his PhD, which was with University of Denver in Colorado in 1968, which would be nominated, and subsequently he would win the Best African Novel, and this was conferred by the African Arts Magazine by the University of California, Los Angeles. Now, we can say so many other things about Professor Eskia Mphahlele, but he is sadly not capturing, the public today, which says a lot about Department of Arts and Culture and Department of Education, because his footprint is incredible. The unit of African literature at VES, he's the founder for that in 1984. He also founded the Funda Center in Tshepo. And we can go on, but what makes him an icon globally beyond South Africa is that he was there with Wole Soyinka, Chinua Achebe, most of the so-called great Nobel Peace laureates. He was there with them in Nigeria in the early 60s when they would found, the Chemi writers group and all these groups that would go on to have legacies on African literature. And I think, it's a pity that we are not actually celebrating him and making him the icon that he deserves to be. It's sad that in 2018, when Nelson Mandela, President Nelson Mandela passed on, the entire year was given to commemorate his legacy. 2019, you could hardly hear anything on Eskia Mphahlele's centenary, and I've been on this. My articles are available in public.
Okay. Right. Dr. Moloi, we do know that there's been a street named in his honor, and that always comes to mind. And I'd like to think that when people ride down that street, or when they hear his name being mentioned by way of the street in traffic reports, that it actually makes them curious enough to research why a street has been named after this amazing person. What are you going to be doing? We look at people like yourself to put this out and to share and to put in mechanisms in place to share this type of knowledge to our newer and next generations.
So if people are willing to know more about my work on Eskia Mphahlele, I have pieces that I have easily available online from a platform called Cultural Review. They can just Google my name, Dr. Tshepo Mvulane Moloi, and Cultural Review. And you will see I have my pieces on Eskia Mphahlele. And of course, because it's his 27th, because today, the 27th of October, 2021, marks his 102nd birthday. I will be taking out an article in Sunday Independent, and then subsequently will be available online.
Great. I'm going to look out for that. I'm certainly going to look out for that. And we're going to have to leave it there. But Always wonderful talking with you, just not enough time to dig deeper. But perhaps we'll host you on another show to really unpack all of these important issues and important people that have really, made such a contribution, such a rich contribution to South Africa and being part of our heritage. So thank you.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah to you as well, Dr. Tshepo Mvulane Moloi. Always a pleasure to talk to this man who has such a rich mind and such deep thinking. It is exactly 9:04 and we're going to take a break and some news before we get back to you.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.